Hey everyone, welcome back. This is At the Kitchen Table Podcast. I'm Jason Klink, your host. This is episode 16. And today is a true honor for me. I have essentially what is a returning guest, even though it's a new podcast. Today I'm joined by a young lady that I had on one of my previous podcasts when she was spearheading Safe Space CNY. I am having the distinct privilege of introducing Tracy Dando. She is a community healing and media outreach coordinator with Vera House, a coach and TEDx speaker, the host of Truthfully Tracy, easy for me to say, and all in all, a community builder focused on healing, connection, and honest conversations. Tracy, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks, Jason, for having me. It's great to be back.
Absolutely. I appreciate you pulling up a chair to the kitchen table here. It's been a little while since we last spoke, and kind of what I alluded to the last time you were on my podcast, you were spearheading Safe Space CNY. Now we're doing your work with Vera House. I'm curious what pathway, I mean, it's a similar pathway, but what landed you working with Vera House?
Yeah. Yeah, great question. So it was about a year ago where there were a lot of signs. I'm kind of a signs girl. I read signs. There
Yeah.
were a lot of signs happening with Safe Space and things that just weren't coming to fruition as much as energy as we were putting into things that just weren't happening. And we had grown so fast, so quickly. And when I initially started Safe Space, the goal was it for not to be a business, let alone a nonprofit. And so a lot of those things weren't set up, to tell you the
Right.
truth. And so it was a lot of like backtracking and things we had missed and things I didn't know. And so it got to this point where I was completely burning myself out, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I live in Rochester, so that was part of it. My kids are in Rochester, so it was a constant battle between two cities, and
Mm-hmm.
it literally had me in survival mode for years and years and years. And then I had to have this surgery, an ankle replacement, for a past surgery years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
it laid me up for a while. And I got to this point where I was like, regardless of what I'm doing, we don't seem to be moving forward. Like it just felt like I
Mm.
was like banging my head against a wall.
Yep.
And I'm like, maybe this is not how it's supposed to move forward. Like maybe this door is supposed to close. And I teetered with that decision for over a year, to tell you the truth, until finally I was like, I just can't do it much longer. And so
Mm-hmm.
I decided to leave. The board decided to keep things open for a little bit longer, but eventually did follow suit and decided to close the organization altogether. But once I put that out there, within a few days, Vera House called and they were
Oh,
like, we don't really know exactly what you're going to be doing. Like, we've got ideas, but like, we want you as a part of our team. And Trisha Matthews, who's the CEO here,
mm-hmm.
uh, just had this energy and excitement and around it, and like the future of what Vera House was becoming. And I couldn't say no. I was like, here's what we're working with. I'm still living in Rochester, right? And I still have these other things. And she's like, we will work with you. And she was creating such a powerhouse team of people that I was like, I have to be on board with this. Yeah. So
That's
I
awesome.
jumped on. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that the ankle surgery was kind of the pause from the universe that was saying, hey, you need to reevaluate and here's another opportunity for you?
Yeah. I really do. I really do, because it took me down in such a way that I really couldn't continue to just push. And like, my coping strategy is to just go. Like, I can
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I'm really good at that.
Right.
The pausing, the resting, that part is a lot harder for me. And this literally forced me into that place.
Yep.
And I'm still a year out and very much still in a recovery place with it. So I do think it was the sign of the universe being like, okay, so we're going to slow you down if you don't choose to slow yourself down.
Yeah. Yeah. It's remarkable how that happens. And you don't even realize it until you're probably well into the pause of, holy crap, this was, something I needed to do.
Yeah.
Something that was very necessary. I had to do my own reevaluation here recently of several different things I had going on, and what still truly made sense and what was not, just not, like you said, it wasn't moving forward.
Right.
It was just stuck. And, um, let's start cutting out and seeing what comes back or what presents itself, kind of thing. Um,
Yeah, there can be so much that brings up in people,
yeah.
right? Like from the fear of failure to
Yeah.
the when you know so much in my heart, like I was looking at there's no question that mental health is at the forefront right now, right? And
Yes.
so like I just couldn't make sense of all of it. And finally I was like, maybe this is not how it's supposed to show up. Maybe this was just a step to teach me what it needed to teach me to get to this next step. And
Yeah.
that's what I've got to believe, right? Like putting yourself out there and creating things, it's all a part of the process. And what I gained in those 6 years of safe space, like I never would have been able to do in any other way. So
Right.
I think it's all our mindset that we create around those challenges.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's funny you mentioned that, because mental health being on the forefront of a lot of different efforts. Because I just was messaging back and forth with a colleague of mine, and he's worked in public safety technology for a long time, and now he's like, I'm done with technology. He's like, I have a true passion right now for promoting mental health and public safety, and I am following that pathway. And I'm truly going to do something with this. And I mean, first of all, he's 100% right. Second of all, this was probably the last person I would have thought would have made this jump, because he's been so heavily involved in the work that he does.
Mhm.
Very, very invested. And I went, oh, all right. And he goes, oh, by the way, I want to be on your podcast too and talk about it. I'm like, hey, absolutely, let's do it. So it's so interesting, those different life transitions that happen. And you look at the pathways and the potholes and the pathways, and just what things in life presents, and you just never know what direction you're going to head in.
No, I was just having that conversation with a colleague this morning where he was like, I was just thinking about my life today and how it is not anything what I planned it to be. I'm like,
I hear
gosh,
that.
I feel that. I feel that, right? And so we come up with this like imaginary world of what we think our
Oh
world
God,
is going to
yes.
be, and it never turns out that way, right?
Nope.
And so we are the creators of this imaginary, like it's like we have to make sense of it. And
Yeah.
I think we all stop around this point in life and think, okay, this is not anything like I expected it to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the more poignant things I've heard recently, like if you're just working to build a career or make yourself successful or earn a lot of money, you're on the wrong path.
Yeah.
You should be more on a path of how much of can you be of service, and of service to others, and getting more joy and satisfaction out of that than how much change you have in your pocket or dollars you have in your pocket.
Right.
And I went, that is so, and it just comes from, again, it goes from my previous career and stuff. And I watch people just, they had to work 30 years so they could get that state retirement, and that's all they wanted to do, and get to the end. And then what?
Right.
Right. And I just think there's, and just based on like the work that you do with people in need, no matter what that need is, but doing that work through Vera House to change the lives of people that are probably on a downhill spiral and don't know how to get out of the spiral.
Yeah. Yeah. It shows up in so many ways, and I, we are all facing our own challenges, right? We
Mm,
are all placed with certain challenges that nobody else in this world could completely understand because it's not them.
Yep.
And they're very unique to each and every one of us. And they seem really big some days. And I have to look at like my own journey and be like, everything that I have experienced along my life, like has taught me something, has opened me up, has given me strength, has given me knowledge, has given me awareness, a whole heck of a lot of pain. Yes. But it's created this path of the work that I'm doing. And
Right.
I see that in everybody. I see that in everybody. And so,
Mm-hmm.
ultimately we're all on our own journey that way. And when it comes to Vera House, Safe Space was created because of my own sexual violence and domestic violence. So
Right.
like at that point in time, I was not ready in my own story to admit that that's why I needed my own safe space here in Syracuse. But it ultimately aligns exactly with what I was doing with Safe Space. And
Yeah.
so what Trisha, has really brought me on to do here at Vera House is start to, first of all, we're creating our own podcast, which we'll be launching this fall, to really
Excellent.
start to get survivors' voices out into the community, as well as tell the story of Vera House and what we're doing here. But also, like, the nonprofits are all being forced to grow in ways right now. And domestic violence and sexual assault, the world we are working in, we know so much more that the support around people needs to look different. The
Yeah.
messaging we're putting out there needs to look different, and we have to grow with that. And so that's exactly what Trisha, this team of people that Trisha has put together, is all working towards, because it's not just the individuals that are looking for shelter that are in immediate danger. It's also this large population of people that are dealing with financial, psychological, emotional abuse, that are in this limbo of not knowing what to do, and are looking for a community and are looking for resources. And that's the part of the organization that I'm helping to curate more right now. So it's actually very aligned with everything that I initially started out trying to do.
I saw that from a mile away. That's
I'm
this.
glad you did, because I
I,
didn't at first.
well,
But
and I say that being on the outside looking in and watching all of your content and everything, and based on our previous conversation,
Mhm.
I'm just a dumb fireman, but it seemed like a perfect fit, right?
Yeah.
And like, and I'm glad you described Vera House as you described it, because I'm sure there's misnomers, misconceptions. I know from being a Syracuse police dispatcher working in 911, the only thing I knew of Vera House was the police officers went and picked up somebody, a female involved in a domestic violence situation, took her to Vera House and dropped her off. That's all I knew.
Mhm.
And obviously, there's so much more to the programs and um, services that they provide to the people that they help.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's a misconception within the community, as well as, like you just said, like I had that misconception too. Yes, we have shelters for that. Our mission is still aligned with that. We have an emergency call center. We are ready to take people that are in immediate danger and find them and get them into a shelter, get them the support and the resources that they need. 100%. That's a big part of our mission.
Yep.
The other parts is our advocacy and our education, where we are out in the community, educating schools and colleges and community resources about what this looks like. Everything from men's work to domestic violence to college campuses that we're talking about sexual assault and harassment and
So
protecting
important.
yourself. Yes. So
Yep.
we do all that. And then our advocacy center, which we support victims along the whole way. So as they're in the court process, as they're in the hospital, we have the same program where we have specialized nurses that come in and see these victims with an advocate to help them in this insanely vulnerable moment in time, that they have support on every end. And so we have also a whole clinical services wing where we do support groups as well as one-on-one therapy with children to the age of 3. So
Mm.
families as well as clients that are the ones that were in immediate danger, And then we work as well with the individuals that are doing the harm, because most of the time the individuals that have done the harm have been harmed themselves as well.
Yeah.
So we have so many facets of this organization, and so much of my job the first couple months was really just coming in and learning all of that, so that through
Right.
the podcast I can really tell the stories of what this powerhouse group of individuals are doing on a daily basis. And the first week, Jason, I saw it all. Like, I sat back and I saw it all, and I was like, if the community only knew what was
Right.
happening
Yeah.
within these walls, like, there is no central New York without Vera House. I have to be honest. Like, the amount of work that is being done here on a daily basis, like, is astounding and beautiful and so sad. And it deserves a voice in many ways. It deserves a voice.
Yeah. No, it's so good. And, it falls back to that mental health component. I'm sure that's a big part of every victim's story, every the person committing the violence, they're part of their story, because unfortunately all that's cyclical, and realistically a lot of anything bad that violence wise is going to just fall back to mental health. And um, for some folks it's just so hard to get some kind of help, any kind of help,
Yeah.
treatment or otherwise.
Yeah. And in many of these cases, it's a lot of generational trauma.
Mm-hmm.
These are the relationships and the communication styles that have been modeled to them their whole entire life.
Yeah.
And so this is how they know how to deal with conflict. This is
Mm-hmm.
how they know how to express love. There's been no other way of that being shown to them. And for the victim, I mean, they're both victims, let's be honest, but for the actual, victim in that case, this is also what they think in a subconscious way that they deserve. Like, there's this this is so much deeper work than
Yeah.
just getting the supports needed around them.
Yeah.
And it's many facets that come together between doing the actual mental health work to
Yeah.
understanding what you are worth and what you deserve. And then
Yeah.
we're seeing what a quote unquote healthy relationship looks like, and the dynamics that way. And then being able to communicate what you're feeling and knowing how to process your emotions. Like, this is so multidimensional.
Yeah.
That this is not just going to take Vera House. This is going to take many people and many organizations coming together in our community,
Mm-hmm.
and really focusing on just rising people up and
Yeah.
giving them the tools and the education to do that.
So good. A lot of important stuff right in that what you had said there. So given that, what does your day-to-day look like as a media outreach coordinator? What obviously you're creating content and you're getting the word out, but what is your day-to-day?
My day-to-day. So I work between here and Rochester. So I come into Syracuse probably 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm working on 3 different things right now. So I'm working on getting the podcast up and running. So we're partnering with Stolen Quinn, and he's going to be putting our podcast out there starting this fall. So we're getting that up and running. The second thing is I am in charge of building our survivors network. So building back up our survivors network. This was a big thing with Vera House in the past. And it's really the community members that have gone through their own domestic violence, have their own stories, that want to come together in the community and create a network of support.
Mm-hmm.
So when people start to get out of the survival stage, where can the community come in and start to support them? So that is where a lot of my skills from Safe Space and what I was building with Safe Space are coming into play with that.
Right.
And then the third thing I'm working on is we're creating an empowerment summit that'll start off next year, which is really bringing a lot of the tools that I highlighted, from self-worth to mental health to financial freedom to relationships, all those skills, putting that into a one-day summit that'll be open for our community starting next year. So yeah, I really get to create and build and be people, like do the whole people thing and be a voice. And like, those are all the things that I just absolutely loved about Safe Space. And so that it's my day-to-day is a little bit of a mix of all of that. And continue to learn because I've been here for about three months now. So just continue to learn what's happening day to day.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, you're just scratching the surface then,
as
far as the work you're going to be doing there.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
Truthfully, Tracy. Now, I've watched your content for years, and now I see Truthfully Tracy in the podcast you're doing, and like the guests you have no joke. You've had Donnie McPherson, Latavius Murray, the mayor of the city of Syracuse. How did this come about, and what's the premise?
Through recovering through my own stuff, Jason, I'm a creator and I'm a visionary. So it's like my own healing process. I have created things, businesses, while I'm in those stages. So I'm very openly and loudly healing for everyone to see, right? And so Safe Space was all about creating that container for me to continue to heal. Truthfully, Tracy is all about speaking my truth. So the first season was a lot of that. Getting comfortable using my voice, holding space for other people in a different way. And the second season, it's really evolving into so much more. It's, my goal here in Syracuse is to bring a level of humanity back, to really show that these people that we have created these images of who they are in our head, right? They all have a story. They all have had stuff happen to them. They all are very human. And I think we idolize these individuals because they've been given a skill or they hold a place of power. And all of them are so human and are doing the best that they can every single day. And most of them have taken what they've learned and are doing something powerful themselves, giving back. And I love being able to tell those stories and connect with people in that way. And so honestly, these people have just been falling in my lap between connections, or somebody reaches out, or it's very organically happening. And that's sort of where a little bit of my passion and creativity is, right now. That's my own little thing, and we'll see how long it continues. But I just find people so fascinating. I really do.
Yeah. I had one thought, but I'll get back to that in a second. Because I thought the premise, actually, and this is in my own brain, the premise of Truthfully Tracy was you were doing content. I think it was like highway talk or something.
Oh, my like throughway drives.
Throughway drives. And I'm like, I wonder if that led into the podcast because of, just living life on the throughway.
On the throughway. Oh God. No, I was just so bored on the throughway, Jason, that I had to start creating. And I did it once, I did one song on the throughway drive, and it got so much feedback. And I was like, people like real ridiculous things. They just want to see people being human. They're over the whole perfect, perfect person getting put out there, the filtered perfect. They just want to see people being ridiculous. And no, that was just because I was really bored one day on the throughway. That's all.
That's fantastic. So true though. It just and I'll go back to my other thought that I had.
Mhm.
Because you were talking about just having real conversations because people have real stories and so on. And I had stopped podcasting because it's a lot of work, as I'm
It's a
sure you're
lot.
finding out. It's a lot of work, especially if you're doing it. But I haven't reached Joe Rogan level yet. I don't have producers, and I don't sit for 3 hours, and you know it just doesn't work that way yet. Um, but I was invited on another colleague's podcast that he had started, and he wanted to come on and talk about customer success in the public safety technology space. I'm like, oh, sure, why not? And we had such a great conversation, and him and I always have interacted really well. That I get done with it, and I'm like, I think I might want to do this again. and and I decided, well, let's reboot. I guess it used to be at the coffee table. I'm going to reboot it and make it at the kitchen table because I think people get get that a little bit better. And really, it's just whatever conversation you want to have. Let's
I love
just,
that.
and it rang true to me here recently because we in my own house we have two teenage daughters, and we were sitting out back on our brand new deck having dinner, and the conversation just went on for an hour. And the kids were so animated, and they were talking about different. We had these real true conversations. I mean, like that's it. That's what I want to bottle and sell because that's what people need to see and we need more of.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So it
I
just oh, go ahead.
I can just this is what I think people are craving more and more of.
Yeah.
Um, the algorithms and all the social media world has forced people to put content out there that we think is going to fit the algorithm or that's going to make more followers or like, and it's
Yeah.
we end up playing this game, right? This
Yeah.
game that who knows who made up.
Right.
And I think people are really tired of just like they want real. They
Yep.
just want real.
Yep.
They want something that makes them feel good. That's
Yep.
something that makes them feel understood, seen, under like. And I think we're the pendulum is swinging back towards just what you expressed. These
Yep.
kitchen table conversations of
Yep.
human connection at
Yep.
its finest.
100%.
So I
Yeah.
love that you started back up. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's and right off the bat, I had people jumping on, going, "Yep, I'll do that. That resonates. Yep, I'll do that." Even like my first episode so far was the best episode, as far as interaction, viewership, all that data. And it was a friend of mine that just she left her work and decided to go into life coaching. That was it.
Mm,
But her story is so great that people gravitated to that.
yeah.
And it's so good to have, like, I can do solo episodes and babble on about a topic or whatever, but it's like when you get the kind of face to face true conversations that go anywhere. I think there's real value in that,
I
and
do
and that's why I'm enjoying this again, even though it's a lot of work.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's a lot of work. And I think you can make it what you want it, right? Like I
Yeah.
took like 3 weeks off because I was like, it as much as I enjoy it, there's a lot of the computer work and the post, like there's just a lot of the backwards work
Yeah.
behind the actual conversations. So
Are you recording episodes every week, or is it on a different schedule? A certain
it's on a
schedule?
little bit different of a schedule.
Yeah.
It's my own personal time.
Yeah.
So it just is based on the kids and when people are in town, like
Oh, okay.
Latavius doesn't live here, so I had to work with
Right.
him. So there's a little bit of a juggling sometimes,
Yeah.
but I try and do a few in a row. So
Oh,
I've
okay.
got and then I just change quick, so nobody even knows it, but they're really back to back episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, and you're right. It's all about time management and
yeah,
being able to,
yeah,
fit it in where you can fit it in. And that's why I'm on the schedule that I'm on, where you record one day and release it a few days later. So you have time to make it pretty and edit and all that. Um, so yeah, totally get it. Shifting gears again, because I wanted to make sure I brought this up. Now, Vera House has the New Beginnings Gala. Tell me about that.
We do. So this is actually our 49th year,
Wow.
which is really exciting that we're coming up on the 50th. So our New Beginnings Gala we've got the Brown Skins band that's coming in this year. We're also working on a few different ideas that I can't share quite yet, but how to make things just a little outside the box, right? I think the gala world is a little burnt out. I think
Yeah.
the nonprofit, like I said in the beginning, we need to start doing things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's got a gala, everybody's got a golf tournament. Like it's just the language of the nonprofit world, right? And so we're hoping to start to do that starting this year, a little bit different. We are hoping to grow it by at least 200 people more. I think we sold 500 tickets last year, where our goal is 700 this year. So we are moving forward with that. It is actually the 23rd of October. I just wanted to make sure I had the date right. And we just started selling tickets and tables and sponsorships. I think most of our main sponsorships have been purchased.
Great.
So now, it's really some of the advertising that we're looking still to fill the packet and the personal tables. But it is so much fun to hear from some of the survivors, to hear what we've done within the last year, and then we really try and bring like an inspirational part to the gala, as well as then just like play and fun and dance and music. And so we're really excited about what we've got in store this year.
That's awesome.
So,
Where's it being held?
it is at the On Center again. It is at the On Center. So with hopes that we're planting a bunch of seeds for the 50th year to get a lot of new things in store. So really exciting time for the organization. Really exciting time.
Awesome. So with all of this and the work and the podcast and the gala and, is there anything else on your horizon that you can speak about or that you may be working towards that will kind of bring this all together?
Oh, goodness. I think the goal with Vera House right now, like I said before, is really up-leveling it to this new, we're not just a house, we're more of like a center. The amount that we do, the amount that we encompass, like it's so big. And sometimes I clearly am having trouble putting it into words right now. And for me, the mission just speaks for itself. Like it just, I feel like it doesn't need to be even sold. Like if people knew, and most of you do. So the statistic is 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4 people are in a domestic violence relationship right now, which is your next door neighbor, your sister, your, your friend, your coworker. And so when you think about that as a business owner, when you think about that as just in the community in general, that's a lot of people. And now we have Micron coming in and there's so much change that is about to occur here, that as much good that's going to come from that, that's also going to quadruple our numbers. So we are trying to prepare for that as much as we can before all this change occurs, because as we all know, change is uncomfortable for people. And we have to be ready for that. And so I think all these efforts we're putting in now is ultimately to be prepared to have a safer future for people here in Syracuse and Central New York in general. And so I think if anybody is called to the mission, there are so many ways to support Vera House, either financially, volunteer, joining some of our groups, joining our survivors network. We have some things in store. We have a boutique that's going to be opening where we're going to take all of the clothing donations that we've gotten and really open it up to this community to purchase. We have just a lot of unique ways for people to get involved with our mission if they feel called to this. So I just am encouraging everybody, this is a very exciting time for us. So we need all hands on deck, all hands on deck.
That's awesome. And thank you for sharing all that, because that is just, and I think that's a good place to leave it, because I don't imagine I can do any better than ending it there. So, if anybody wanted to connect with you, what would be the best way for them to connect with you?
Yeah, so you can go to just our Vera House website, which is verahouse.org. Our phone number is 315-425-0818 for outreach. We also have a 24-hour support line that I think is important to bring up as well. It's 315-468-3260. And we're on all socials. We work with Co-Purpose, and they do all of our socials, so I'm going to shout them out. And it's Vera House INC for most of those. So we, in any of those ways, somebody will answer you. So we really look forward. Yeah, we look forward to supporting and helping and growing and moving our mission forward. So
it's awesome. And where can everybody find Truthfully Tracy?
So Truthfully Tracy is on all social media as well. Just search Truthfully Tracy and all networks that you listen to your podcast. So
that's great.
You will see me. You will see me.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to jump on this podcast to talk about all the great things that you're doing and that Vera House is doing. Looking forward to the gala being a huge success. Looking forward to your future podcast episodes and who you might have on next.
Thanks, Jason.
But I appreciate you. For everybody else that's listening or watching, I'd love to have you drop a comment and let us know what you think of the podcast. Feel free to drop a comment if you want to connect with Tracy personally. We can make that connection. But we're just trying to build a small community, and this is a part of it. So I appreciate everybody pulling up a chair to the kitchen table today. And as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Have a great day.